Hi, and thank you for joining us at Easy Cooking. Today we're going to make some schnitzels. Depending on where in the world you are, you may or may not know what a schnitzel is. So just to kind of give you a brief description, there are two types of schnitzels. One is a tenderized pork chop that is breaded and pan fried, and the other one is a hamburger patty that is pan fried. And basically, you can do any batter you want. Today we're going to do beer batter. And first we're going to start with what ingredients we need for our hamburger patties. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I grew up with. In my country, we always did the hamburger patties. The pork chop is more of a German style schnitzel. And we can, at some point of time, do that too. But it's a lot easier. It's with the German style, you basically need good quality pork and decent recipe for your breading. So we're going to do the Bulgarian one that I grew up with the hamburger patty. So let's see what we need for the patties first.
Ground beef and ground pork. Eggs, breadcrumbs, beer, seasonings, mixed seasonings.
The seasonings include onion flakes, dried parsley, cumin, black pepper, salt, and oregano. The full list and amounts are in the recipe under the video. Now that we know what we need, we can get started. Lily? Here's the meat. We have some pork and we have some beef. That's what we always do in my country. Can you please add the seasonings? Just dump it in there, careful. Thank you. Next, we're gonna dump the breadcrumbs. Thank you. Now, very carefully, pour the beer in there. Thank you, dear.
Whoa, it sizzles.
Yep, it does sizzle, doesn't it? The 2 eggs. Thank you, dear. You can use the fork to start mixing slightly and gently so we don't end up with hamburger meat or other things all over the floor, right? You can mix it, you can put the fork in there. Let me know if you need daddy to help you, hon. Thank you, babe. Daddy, take over. Now, I always use a fork to get started because you don't want all the seasonings and eggs and everything else to be just on your hands and not inside the meat. So I'll do that real quick. Then I'll get my hands in there, mix it well. Definitely want to make sure it's mixed well before you make your patties. We should be in a good shape at this point of time. All of our seasonings are mixed well. Our assistant chef went to wash her hands because she wants to make a couple of patties. Now, because we're gonna make them very skinny, you don't have to make them very big. So this is, I mean, you can make them as big as you want. This is...
Daddy, can I make them too?
Yeah, absolutely, Lily. Grab some meat and you can see what Daddy's doing. This is pretty much the size of my patty. Again, you can make them smaller, bigger, it doesn't matter. All that is gonna get affected by that is the portion size. I make them thin. I hope you can see how thin the patty is. You don't want it very thick because once you bread it and put it in the pan, you want it to cook well. You don't want raw meat in the middle. So we're gonna start laying them down. We'll do a second layer with some parchment paper in between. They will not all be the same size. I won't measure. Really, it's all up to you how big you want to make them. Once we get done with that, of course, we're gonna let them sit in the fridge.
Too flat.
We really want our patties to be well chilled, so I'll let them sit in the fridge for a few hours, which will also give them a chance to soak in all the seasonings. Of course, when they're chilled, it's easier to put them in the breading and then fry them. Thank you, Lily. And of course, we'll have some different smaller shapes in here because our assistant chef is helping us. Want to make a nice ball before you shape your patty.
Assistant chef, what's all over your face?
Tattoos.
Oh boy.
Okay. You can take this, make one, and then I'll finish it up for you. Make yourself a nice ball first, assistant chef. Look what Daddy's doing. See what Daddy's doing? Yep, and then you can flatten it.
Me making a hamburger. What, Mom?
Okay, I think this is
Yes,
good.
you can finish that one.
I can finish that one, assistant.
I'm gonna make a baby one. With my baby one.
Thank you. Thank you, assistant.
Go. Okay. Now I can make more. That baby one right there. Now my other baby one. Oh, this one's too tiny.
And this is our last patty.
I want
That's
to make
it.
more.
Nice and easy. We made about 8 or 10 patties. We're gonna go ahead, actually we don't need that on top, baby. We're gonna go ahead and stick it in the fridge for a few hours, and then we'll be back to finish it up. Well, hello again. It's time to finish up our schnitzels. So we're gonna do our batter and get going over there. I've already started the stove to warm up our oil. We want it on roughly 350 degrees for proper cooking. I have a thermometer, I'll measure it. Usually I just throw some breadcrumb in there and go with that, but for the video we'll try to make it right. So let's see what ingredients we need for the batter first, and then we'll continue. Egg, beer, flour. All right, so let's get going. I'm using a square pan because it's the only one that I could find that has a flat bottom, so I can dunk my schnitzels in it. We're gonna start with whisking the egg. As you know, with some of my videos, I like to whisk my egg first before we do a whole lot of anything else. You don't have to do too much. Then we're gonna pour the beer in. We're not putting any seasoning in our beer batter because our patties are already seasoned. So anything else that we put is just gonna make it too much. The whole point for the batter is to get the beer flavor here. And of course, we put a little bit of beer in our burgers. So hopefully everyone's gonna enjoy this, but it's very good. And then we're gonna add the flour. We're gonna whisk all this together.
So this is going to be a wet mixture versus a multi-layer process.
Oh yes, this is just one batter. You dunk your patty in the batter, you get it out, and you put it right in the pan. Nice and easy. There's two types of batters for frying. One is a 3-step process: flour, egg, flour, or I like to double up on the flour and egg, but flour, egg, and breadcrumbs. This one is your 1-step process. You mix everything together, you dunk whatever you're gonna fry in it, and then right it goes in the pan. So it's very nice and easy schnitzel recipe. This is how I grew up making it. My parents, or people in my country I guess, I guess try to simplify things. So this is very nice and easy. You want to whisk it until the flour is all mixed in there. You don't want to have flour curdles or bubbles, or whatever you want to call it. So we're just going to make sure it's well mixed. And you don't want too thick of a batter either, because you don't want to have not enough meat with too much batter. So you make it a little runny. This should be good enough. And voila, this is what we have. Now we just wait for our oil to heat up and then we'll get started. Our oil is at the right temperature. I just checked it. We're at 350. So we're gonna start with the schnitzels. First, we dunk, we flip. Oh yeah, this is already looking good. And we throw in the burning oil. And be careful, as I just found out, it can splash a little bit. So we dunk, we flip, we put in the burning oil. I'm gonna fill up my pan. We're gonna cook them up. And then we'll see how we did. So this is ready. This is the color you want, a little darker, not quite golden. You want it a little darker but not too dark, and then I put them on a plate with paper towel so that the excess oil can be absorbed by the paper towel. We'll go ahead and finish up here, and then we'll see how we did. Hopefully we'll have some really good schnitzels today. We're all done and I'm super excited. Hopefully it's as good as it smells. If you want to zoom in over here, schnitzel looks amazing. Let's cut right through it. Oh my goodness, it's cooked well. You can see the meat is cooked. The batter is super thin. You can taste test, honey, here. Why don't you taste test before me? Let me make sure it's not hot. It's good. It's good?
Guys, it's yummy.
I'm super excited. Thank you, Lily. This is good. You can taste the beer, but it's not overpowering. It's got all the other seasonings that we threw in there that accompany the flavor. It's insane. So I sure hope everyone enjoys this schnitzel recipe. You guys have a good night. Like our videos, subscribe if you like everything, share with family and friends, and let us know how you like them in our comments area. See you next time.